Hello and welcome to Engine Adventures towing review of this 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser. For this new generation of Land Cruiser in the United States, they've gone ahead and named the Toyota Land Cruiser Prado the Land Cruiser. Previously it was the full-size Land Cruiser, now it's the LC250 as opposed to the Lexus LX600, which is the LC300. Anyway, this one's a little bit smaller, has the 4-cylinder turbo with the hybrid system. All the batteries are here in the back, which is why I'm kind of pointing that way. But anyway, this thing's pretty heavy. We can actually take a look right now. Might as well knock this out of the way. Right here, let's see. It has a payload of 1,100 pounds, and actually it's just under 1,000 pounds because that says minus 157. But the gross vehicle weight rating, 6,835. We knock off 1,100, so you're 5,735 is how much this thing weighs as it sits with oil and fuel and all that stuff and all the fluids. So 5,700 pounds, that's pretty heavy, and that makes it more stable when towing. And here we have this trailer. It's only I've measured it, it's like 22 feet. They call it an 18-footer, but anyway, it's like a 22-foot trailer, I think, overall. And you can see tongue weight there. It's actually showing a little bit higher. It's showing about 600, but tongue weight's closer to 500, just bouncing and turning and stuff when I stop. So anyway, this trailer is really massive. So the Land Cruiser is rated to tow 6,000 pounds, and this trailer, it has a really large frontal area. So you can see it's like a billboard. It's pretty much flat. It's got a little angle there, but it's, you know, 8 feet by almost 10 feet tall, 8 feet wide, 10 feet tall. Overall, this Land Cruiser has been good to drive. A lot of these hybrids, and this one included, without the trailer on it, it's a little bit jerky as it tries to figure out, do I use the gas engine, do I use the electric motor? Anyway, that kind of stuff gets a little tricky. We'll look under the hood. It's windy and the engine's on, so you're gonna hear a little bit of sound here. So there you go. Orange obviously is the high voltage. This is an inline 4-cylinder, turbocharged, and I think it's right down there. It's hard to see, but anyway, I'll put the horsepower and torque up on the screen for both just the engine itself and the engine with the hybrid system or electric motors, because there is a difference there. Let's take a look inside. Okay, so we have 3 screens here that you can go in between. So I've set this one up with all the gauges. This one has boost and electric, and then this one is the trailer brake controller. So I'll put in a clip here of something really annoying. You can't just hook up a trailer and drive. You gotta hook up a trailer, come in here, set your trailer brake type for your weight, 0 to 5,000 pounds, all that stuff, which this trailer is 4,800-ish pounds with about a 500-pound tongue weight. It's really not a good design that Toyota has for this. So anyway, I'll put my whole venting or my whole rant up, that clip right now. So I've talked about this before, and it drives me absolutely nuts. Trailer's hooked up, plugged in, but you can see the trailer brake controller off right there. Toyota is ridiculous. This is very unsafe. I don't know why they do this in all their vehicles. The Tundra, the Tacoma, whatever's got a built-in trailer brake controller, they always just have it default to off. So as soon as you plug in a trailer, it detects the trailer's there, it should activate the trailer brake controller. I'm gonna have to pull over and fix this in just a minute, but once you select a trailer in the system, then it will work just fine, and I'll pull up the video when I figure out how to do that. And I did set the trailer, I set it to 0 to 5,000 pounds, electronic brake controller, or electronic brakes rather, not electric over hydraulic. Anyway, sorry, this guy was drifting into my lane in front of me. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to double check the system and see how I can get that to work, but Anyway, this is a huge flaw that Toyota has. I've been harping on it for 2 or 3 years now, but it's just a terrible, terrible, terrible design. You hook up a trailer, if someone doesn't go in and change all the settings and they're just driving, you don't have trailer brakes, and now you're overloading your vehicle brakes, which is very dangerous. Sorry to rant, it drives me nuts. Okay, so I did this before I hooked up the trailer, but in the driver information center, and I apologize for the glare, you have an option for the settings there. Hit OK, go into settings. I go up to vehicle settings. You hold down OK to get into there. I'm going to go up to, I should have gone down, it looks like, select brake type. So I had done this before and it didn't save it or whatever, so when I hooked up the trailer it still went back to no selection. But then I selected the electric trailer brakes there, 0 to 5,000 pounds essentially. This is gonna be tight, but anyway, so when I come to a stop, you can see electric over hydraulic, electric 5,000 plus, electric over hydraulic 5,000 plus. So anyway, it gives you a few options there. In order for your brakes to work, you've got to go in and select this. Awful. Overall though, so the tow haul button, you have your drive modes, and anyway, that didn't do anything. You have sport, normal, and eco. So tow haul's not here. It actually took me a minute to find it. I was looking all around. Tow haul button's right here, so it's a little bit hidden. And they also did that with the trailer brake controller, which I also have another clip of, but it's all the way down here. When you're driving, you can't see it. You have to kind of lean over, and when you do lean over, it's hard. Everything's black down there. It's hard to see the toggle switches or whatever, the sliders that you use to apply the trailer brakes. It's not in the worst place. I can reach that. I do have to lean forward a bit, so if I'm not leaning forward, I can't quite reach it. So I have to lean forward to reach it, where on the GX, if it's right here, or when the GX is equipped with it, it's right here, so you can just grab it right there, a lot easier. Trailer brake controller's down here. It's not a bad spot, I can reach it, but I cannot see it, so it's behind the steering wheel, so down here. Tow haul mode right there, so it's easy to reach. All right, there's a cyclist there, so we're gonna go full throttle. We are full throttle here. Up to 40 miles an hour. Definitely takes a little bit. So I feel like even with the hybrid system, that it's not as torquey as the Tacoma without the hybrid. That sounds crazy. It sounds crazy to me. I'll have to look up the numbers and double check everything to make sure, but that's how it feels. I remember the Tacoma just feeling super torquey and ready to go. I'm actually gonna stay, good, there's no one behind me. I'm gonna stay in this lane because of the construction over there, but it's, look at this. I mean, 2,000 RPM, 40 miles an hour just going up this hill. You can see the hybrid assist versus the boost, and we're almost maxing out boost at 2,000 RPM. So that's really cool to see. That means you're getting a lot of torque down low. There goes some additional hybrid in there. And on the downshift to make it smoother there. And then the hybrid's gone. So as you get up higher in the RPM range, once you're above 2,000 RPM, typically, I've noticed driving around, once you're above the 2,000 RPM range, it really doesn't use much in the way of the hybrid system. And you can see there how much boost we're getting. So we're getting a lot of torque at 2,300 RPM right now. I apologize for the glare again. This is the time of day I was able to get out and do this testing. One thing, you can set up these gauges differently. So I have it set up right now to show me all the information on this one screen. So on the right, I've got the battery oil pressure on the left, and fuel down on the bottom. And then on the left, I've got the engine coolant temperature, sorry, oil temperature, and then trans temperature, and then the engine coolant temperature down on the bottom. So looks like my normal filming spot is actually under pretty heavy construction, so I don't know if we'll be able to stop and film there. I'll have to find somewhere else to do my intro and outro. But anyway, yeah, actually this is driving really well. So maybe it just didn't feel quite as torquey off the line, but geez, this is just so easy. I do put these in tow haul mode and just leave it in drive. So I don't do manual mode for these tests. I don't use cruise control, which again, is useful. So using manual mode, downshifting manually, whatever, holding gears is really useful. And then using cruise control, especially on the downhill, it'll actually apply the brakes for you. So that's not, anyway, not something that usually shows up in my testing, because I almost never, I shouldn't say never, but almost never tow with cruise control. And then I leave it in drive because that's what most people are going to be doing when they're driving, and just to see how everything performs. One thing I don't like on the information, it's cold or hot with a bar in the middle. You don't have actual numbers there, which maybe, I don't know. For example, the Ford transmissions, whatever reason, the last 3 that I've had, they all like to run at like 210, 220-ish when you're towing, versus GM with the 10-speed. Both these are 10 speeds, the GM 10-speed and, you know, the half-ton trucks. I don't think I've tested the bigger trucks, but things like the Escalade, Tahoes, Silverado 1500s, they all run at like 190. So I think Ford might run hotter on purpose, but these I don't get actual numbers on, which is something I would like to see, but maybe it's just to dummy it down for people so they don't have to worry about that. Again, no problem here. I mean, these are pretty steep grades, downshifted down to, I don't know, get it up to the 2,500 RPM. I'm in 4th gear at 40 miles an hour, essentially. So, and this does have a head-up display. I honestly don't use it that much. So a lot of vehicles, I love the head-up display, but in this case, it's kind of weird because the instrument cluster is so easy to see that I don't find myself using the head-up display that much. There are other vehicles where it's a little harder to see the instrument cluster. You have to like look down under the steering wheel or whatever. I definitely like it in that situation, but for this vehicle, I don't think you need a head-up display at all. Speed limit is 90. So this has a speed limit recognition. I don't know. I don't know what it picked up where it thinks it's 90, but it's definitely, maybe the 4 looked like a 9 on one of the signs or something, but it's definitely 40. I don't know. That's pretty sweet though. Yeah, we're almost here at the top. Looks like they're gonna add a stoplight here. Anyway, that was entirely effortless. So this vehicle being a hybrid, it's on the same general, I believe it's called the TNGA something platform. Oh, it's not it's a cell tower or something, not a stoplight. Anyway, it's on the same TNGA platform as things like the full-size Land Cruiser, like the LX600, the Toyota Sequoia, the new Tundra, the new Tacoma. They all kind of share the same platform. So anyway, it's a beefy platform is what I'm getting at. You add in the hybrid system, the weight of the batteries and everything, and honestly, I'm very happy with the way this thing drives. Like I said, it doesn't feel maybe quite as torquey, definitely not as torquey as those with the 3.5 liter V6 twin turbo hybrid setup like the Sequoia. That thing was absolutely nuts. It just didn't even care that the trailer was there. Same with the Tundra hybrid, but anyway, it's excellent. I would have no qualms pulling this trailer except for the mirrors. So you can't see down the sides, even on the turn. Not able to see down the sides of the trailer there. So that, I mean, it's not built for this kind of thing. This trailer's oversized, like pulling a billboard. And yeah, this thing just has no problems. All right, we're on the downhill now, and been on it for a minute, but this section up here gets pretty steep. This climb, overall, it's a pretty big climb. You can see the valley down below. It's quite a ways down there, but so you go from the valley floor up to here in a fairly short distance. And yeah, it's just seeing how it's doing. So when I apply the brakes, actually the engine's off right now. And, sorry for the glare, it's just so bad today, but when I apply the brakes, it just turns the engine off and regenerates, charges the battery or whatever, and uses the, you know, system brakes, regular service brakes rather, to slow it down. So it's not honestly doing a ton of engine braking. And did I turn tow mode off? Did. Well, we'll try that again. There's another steep part up here. That's totally on me. I must have, when I was filming earlier or whatever, I must have turned it off, or when I turned the vehicle off and back on, it might have, most likely, that was the point where it disabled it and I didn't turn it back on. Anyway, with tow haul mode on before, it would keep the engine on all the time, so I bet that's what it's going to do here. As I start braking, curious if it downshifts. It's not really. Man, you guys have the worst glare today. But yeah, the engine's staying on. I'm actually, this trailer has so much wind resistance. The wind is blowing up the hill right now too, so it's adding some resistance to it. But this part is quite steep, and let's apply the brakes, see what it does. And it's, there it goes. It's not really downshifting. It's staying around 2,000 RPM for most of it. Thank you for watching Engine Adventures towing review of this 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser. Really liked it. Tows quite well, actually. I'm not using a weight distribution hitch. I'm sure Toyota would recommend it. I'll talk about that in a bit, but anyway, tows really well. This vehicle is quite heavy because it's a hybrid system, and you know, regular gas engine with the batteries, all that kind of stuff makes it pretty heavy. A heavier vehicle makes for a heavier trailer, or sorry, a heavier vehicle, tow vehicle makes for a more stable towing experience with, you know, decently sized trailers. So it actually did really well. Right on par with the Tacoma, maybe slightly better just because it's so much heavier, but the suspension on this is a little bit more floaty, so that was maybe a slight thing I noticed while towing. It didn't feel less stable, but it really did tow very well, so it was quite impressive. I enjoyed it. Be sure to hit the thumbs up, comment down below whether you liked the video or not. I guess give me a thumbs down if you didn't like it, but be sure and comment, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see. I'll be doing a couple other videos on this vehicle as well, but it was a fun test. I enjoyed having it and enjoyed the towing experience with it, and I'll actually add in a clip of the fuel mileage as well. I've missed that so far, but this trailer, decent sized trailer for a vehicle this size, and it towed it really well. So thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful day.